Welcome to the deep dive. Ever stop and think about what's really going on inside your head, beyond just the neurons firing? Today we're exploring something called the Neuropil. It's this incredibly complex network that basically underpins everything.
Exactly. We got some great questions from you all about this. It's this fundamental yet often overlooked part of brain tissue. Think of it maybe as the brain's connective tissue, the real mesh where the magic happens. We want to unpack what it is and why it's so crucial.
Right, so let's jump straight in. What exactly is this Neuropil? Lay it out for us.
Okay, well, imagine you're looking at brain tissue. You see the neuron cell bodies, right? The big parts. Neuropil is essentially everything else in between, all the tangled stuff.
Everything else.
Yeah, mostly axons. Those are the output wires from neurons and dendrites, the input branches, plus processes from glial cells, the brain's support cells, and critically, it's packed with synapses. That's where the actual communication between neurons occurs.
Ah, okay. So it's the connection zone. Where do we find it mainly?
It's throughout the brain, but it's especially dense in the gray matter. That's where most of the information processing happens.
Gotcha. So how does it stack up against the white and gray matter distinction we usually hear about?
Good question. Gray matter, like I said, is rich in the neuron cell bodies and this dense neuropil, think processing centers. White matter, on the other hand, is mostly those long-range insulated axons, the myelinated ones. They act like communication highways between different brain areas.
So less neuropil in the white matter.
Generally, yes. It's more about bulk transmission there, less about the intricate local processing that happens within the neuropil of the gray matter.
Okay, that makes sense. So thinking about the cortex, the brain's outer layer, doing all the heavy lifting for thought and perception, what's the neuropil's role there?
It basically forms the microcircuitry, all the complex computations, integrating signals, making sense of information that happens within the neuropil network in the cortex. The sheer density and specific arrangement of these connections directly influence our cognitive abilities.
It sounds incredibly intricate, almost hard to visualize. How do scientists actually get a look at it?
Yeah, it's definitely microscopic. They use specialized staining techniques on thin slices of brain tissue. Different stains can highlight different components. Some show the axons and dendrites. Others might target synapses or specific types of glial cells within the neuropil.
So you can actually map out these tiny connections.
To some extent, yes. Techniques like electron microscopy give incredibly detailed views, allowing researchers to see individual synapses and map local circuits. It's painstaking work, though.
Wow. Okay, someone asked about neuropil density and, well, being smarter. Is there a connection? More neuropil equals more brain power.
That's a fascinating question. There's definitely research exploring that. The idea is that higher neuropil density could mean more synapses, potentially leading to richer, more efficient information processing. But, it's not quite that simple. Cognition is incredibly complex. Neuropil density is likely one important factor among many. It's about the quality and organization of connections, too, not just quantity.
Right, not just sheer volume. What about aging? Does this network change as we get older?
It does seem to. Research indicates that aging can involve changes in neuropil structure. This might include a reduction in synaptic density or alterations in the glial cells within it. These changes are thought to contribute, at least partly, to some age-related cognitive decline.
And I imagine if things go wrong with this structure, it could be linked to disorders.
Absolutely. There's growing evidence linking alterations in the neuropil to various conditions. Think Alzheimer's disease, where synapse loss is a key feature, or potentially differences in neuropil structure in conditions like autism or schizophrenia.
So changes in this microscopic wiring could have really profound effects.
Exactly. The integrity of the neuropil seems critical for healthy brain function.
You mentioned glial cells earlier, the support cells.
Yeah.
How do they fit into the neuropil picture? They're not neurons, but they're in the mix.
Oh, they're vital. Astrocytes, for example, are like the controllers of the local environment, supporting synaptic function. Oligodendrocytes provide insulation for axons running through. And microglia are the immune cells, cleaning up debris and monitoring neuropil health. It's a really dynamic interplay between neurons and glia within this space.
So there's a whole ecosystem in there.
You could definitely think of it that way, yeah.
That leads to a final area. People asked about the possibility of maybe therapies targeting the neuropil. Is that something being explored?
It is, yes. It's a really exciting, though challenging area of research. If we understand how neuropil is disrupted in specific disorders, The hope is to develop strategies to perhaps protect synapses, promote new connections, or modulate the glial cells to support neuropil health.
So potentially fixing the network itself.
That's the long-term goal for certain conditions. It's still early days, but understanding the neuropil opens up new therapeutic avenues.
Okay, so let's quickly recap. Neuropil. It's this super dense, complex web of axons, dendrites, and glial bits found mainly in gray matter. It's where synapses live, making it the absolute hub for neural communication and processing.
Precisely.
It changes with age, its disruption is linked to disorders, and glial cells are essential partners within it.
You've got it. It really underscores how much intricate structure underlies everything our brain does.
So a final thought for you listening. Just consider that vast invisible network inside your own head. Millions of miles of connections packed into that small space, constantly working. What does its integrity mean for who you are, and what potential lies in understanding and maybe even influencing this fundamental structure? Something to ponder. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.